Oakville and Burlington share a border. They sit in the same region, they answer to the same police, and that region has held a 17-year provincial safety record with the lowest crime severity index in Ontario. And yet, the average home in Oakville costs a few $100,000 more than the average home in Burlington. Same safety, same region, one city carrying a serious premium over the other. So the question worth answering is what that extra money buys and whether you need any of it. By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 reasons Oakville costs more and the situations where Burlington hands you far more home for the same budget. Because for a lot of the families I work with, it does exactly that. My name is Gaurav and I am a CFA charter holder and a realtor based in the Greater Toronto area. And if you're weighing these 2 cities right now, the link to book a call with me is in the description. One conversation can save you months of going back and forth. The latest TREP data puts Oakville's average across all properties near 1.3 million, where Burlington sits closer to $1 million. Townhomes follow the same pattern, with Oakville starting around $800,000 and Burlington closer to $700,000. That price gap has held for years. The question is, what's behind it? It isn't safety, because both cities share the same regional record, and it isn't the day-to-day cost of living, because groceries and gas are basically the same on both sides of the border. There are 3 real reasons, and once you've seen all 3, you'll know which ones matter for your life and which ones you're better off keeping your money on. The first reason is the map. Oakville sits closer to Toronto and it rides the faster trains. On the Lakeshore West line, Oakville runs somewhere around 30 to 40 minutes into Union Station at peak thanks to its express service, but Burlington's stations run longer, generally in the range of 45 to 55 minutes depending on the station and the train. The 10 to 15 minutes each way sounds small until you multiply it out. Twice a day, several days a week, across years of commuting. If someone in your house rides that train every morning, those minutes are real cost and Oakville is buying them back for you. But distance isn't the whole story. Mississauga sits closer to Toronto than both cities and Oakville still costs more than Mississauga. So proximity explains part of the gap, not the part that makes Oakville Oakville. For that, you need the next 2 reasons. The second reason is schools. Both cities are strong here, so the difference is more specific than you would expect. Both sit under the Halton District School Board, and board-wide the results come in above the Ontario provincial average. There's no weak side here. Wherever you land, your kids are in good schools. What separates them is the very top. Several of Ontario's highest ranked secondary schools sit in Oakville, and they've held those ranks year after year. Burlington has strong schools too, just fewer of them at the very top. And here's why that shows up in the price. Every home sits inside the boundary of a specific school, and when that school is one of the best in the province, families compete to live inside its lines. That competition is what lifts the home above everything else. Oakville has several of those boundaries, which is a real part of why the city prices are where they are. So read it this way. If your plan is built around getting into one of those specific top ranked boundaries, a chunk of Oakville's price is the cost of that address. And for some families, it's worth every dollar. If your bar is a strong school anywhere you'd realistically buy, then Burlington clears that bar as well without the premium. And the difference stays in your pocket. Now the third reason is the one that explains the Mississauga puzzle from earlier. It's demand and specifically how deep it runs in Oakville. Oakville's median household income sits well above Burlington's. The town holds a cluster of corporate head offices and it has carried its reputation for decades. Buyers with serious budgets show up already wanting Oakville, and they have for a generation. That pattern feeds itself because the more sought after a place becomes, the more sought after it stays. Demand that deep does 2 things to the price. It lifts homes on the way in because more qualified buyers are competing for the same house, and it steadies them on the way out because when you sell, the next buyer who wants that address is already looking in Oakville. In comparable pockets, Oakville homes draw more interest and hold their value with more confidence. Now, Burlington has sat in Oakville's shadow for years, and that shadow is a big part of why it stays cheaper even though the fundamentals are quite close. You should just know what the premium actually buys you. It buys you the school you can use, the commute that gives you your time back, and then the reputation. It's real and it protects your resale, but it's the only part of the price you cannot walk through or touch. So should you consider Burlington over Oakville? For a lot of families, the answer is yes. Oakville earns its premium when you will actually use what it sells. That means your plan depends on a specific top-ranked school boundary, or someone in your house commutes to Toronto every single day, or you're buying at a level where prestige and resale depth genuinely matter to you. If two of those three sound like you, pay for Oakville and don't look back. Burlington wins when what you need is a strong school, the safest region in the province, and a home your income carries comfortably. That's most of the families I sit down with. Remember, a lower price means a smaller mortgage and a lighter monthly payment for as long as you own the home. And that money would have otherwise gone towards things you perhaps were never going to use anyways. The real mistake isn't picking the wrong city, it's stretching to barely reach Oakville when the same budget buys comfortably in Burlington. And then spending years house poor for a school boundary your kids aren't even in yet. Now, if you want to learn about Oakville pocket by pocket, neighborhood by neighborhood, I've made a full neighborhood breakdown of that city, and my ranking of the best cities across GTA shows where both of these cities land in the bigger picture. Both of the videos are on the channel, and if you're deciding between these two cities or between any two markets in the GTA, this is literally the work I do. I've closed over $25 million in real estate for my clients, and choosing the right city and pocket is where that work starts. So if that's the decision in front of you, the link to book a call with me is in the description. And if you're not ready for a call yet, there's a recorded webinar available through the link in the description that walks you through the full home buying process from start to finish. Before you go, if someone you know is stuck on the same Oakville versus Burlington decision, send them this video. It might change how they think about their next move. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.